G'day guys, bringing you a Scout Rush tutorial. Okay, off we go. Usual start, you gotta build some houses, kill up some villages, and try to find your sheep as quickly as possible. Okay, well, as you possibly have noticed if you watch the Fast Castle build and this one, I'll be using Saracens. Saracens for all tutorials, in most cases, unless for like specific civ strategies, as they don't have an eco bonus at all. Like, yay, market trade costs less. Woohoo! That really doesn't do anything unless you're planning on using market. So yeah, whereas like every other civ has some sort of discount or gathers resources faster or whatever. Like even Koreans, they get faster stone. Probably not gonna need it, but it helps you at some point. Byzantines, you get cheaper trash. You get what I mean. Okay, well, this sort of shows you what you do if you can't find your sheep. Go scout with your villagers. Probably should have sent one of these ones up here, but as we see, the sheep are over here. Chop wood. You could maybe go get your berries. Like, don't mill it or anything, just walk over there, grab 10 food each, come back, and by then you've hopefully found your sheep. But it's no real big deal, because you're probably not going to be able to keep villager production going if you don't find your sheep before you've made 2 villages. Probably have to do a nice early loom, and you always want to try to delay that, because the later you do loom, the more villages you have gathering resources during that 25 seconds, and it's just a stronger eco. Oh, look at that, we did just get the food. That was good. Okay, yeah, so, scouting. Round to go. It's decent scouting. Found boar, deer, berries, another boar, gold, wood, yada yada yada. All the main resources so far. First thing I'd do when looking at this map in particular is I'd see like it looks like a pretty decent wall. These forests across there, maybe around that. Possibly if you wanted to walk a really long distance, go this way to protect that extra gold and middle forest, but it's a little bit too much of a walk and too much of a wood cost. Probably easiest to go around there. So once you've walled that bit off, all of this side of your base is the only way the enemy can come in. So if you like go from this wall to your TC, gold to the house like that, boom, the enemy has to run past that little bit of space on either side of your town centre. You just quickly jump in, shoot some arrows at him, do some damage. Just a good choice to do, just force them to take damage unnecessarily. Okay, yeah, so back to build order. 8 on sheep. Standard for pretty much everything, unless you're Britons. Then we've got 3 on wood, which is enough to keep houses and a handful of farms and a mill during the early game. And the next villager is going to go get a boar. I've gone for this boar because it's slightly further forward boar. If you were to have a look, like the enemy somewhere along this line up here, most likely. And since we're further into the corner, it's probably in this corner somewhere. So yeah, that was my thinking behind it. And probably could have moved the house a bit further forward near that tree and used it as a bit of a wall later, but it's okay. Next villager, we'll go to berries. And next 3 after that, so you'll have a total of 4 on berries, which is always the optimum number to have on berries. Like, they don't gather the food too quickly, but because berries are so slow, you're not wasting too much time gathering them. Like, if you're really short on food, like if you're missing a sheep, then yeah, you can probably send an extra villager or 2 over just to make up the difference, but except for some sort of negative situation like that where you're at a disadvantage already, you should probably avoid taking too much berries. And if you ever find another patch of berries somewhere, ignore it. Don't bother taking it, it takes too long. Farms, deer, whatever. Much better choice. We've got good villager micro replacement around the lumber camp. Both of them hardly need a walk, and this guy just needs to do a quick semicircle around the lady there. It'll be the same with these 2 villagers after they move a bit closer after grabbing some food. Just makes it slightly more efficient. Well, this guy's just moved over because that tree's almost finished, and then she's going to come in. But like you'd think, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Just need to walk, I don't know, from that tree to that tree. It's only one tile. But if you can walk less than that, then that's an extra 10 resources a minute you gather. Like that racks up pretty quickly. And like so, if you're in Dark Age in only about 10 minutes, that's 100 wood you're down. That's a pretty big difference in total during Dark Age. And if all 3 of your villagers are doing it, it's 300 wood down. If that were to happen, that is pretty damn unlucky. You'd have to completely ignore your wood choppers. And then decide to do something really stupid like walk all the way around a forest for that sort of thing to happen. But you got to think about this. This is good. You always get your injured villagers on farms to keep them near the town centre. Because enemy scout running around the enemy base. If you've got a villager up here who's only on 10 HP, you could run in, hit it, attack it 3 or 4 times, free villager. And at this stage of the game, losing a villager is pretty massive effect on your economy. So you'd want to avoid that at all costs. And like this goes on into the Feudal Age. If there's a villager that's weaker at your lumber camp or something, then it's still an easier pick than normal. So yeah. Well, so we've done 4 on berries, and then we've added 3, and then we're going to add 1 more, so we're going to add 4 more onto boar or sheep, whatever you've got underneath the town centre here. But you also got to remember that you're going to lay a couple of farms with your injured villagers. So this one will hopefully go lay a farm in a minute. But yeah, anyway. So after you've put 4 more onto your town centre food, yeah, there we are, there's a farm. Send your last 3 villagers over to wood. If you've got the wood for it, you can build another lumber camp. But at this stage, get all 5 or 6 villagers on your lumber camp here. And then once you get to click up to Feudal Age, then you can make another lumber camp. It's not that big of a deal with this number of villagers, but you don't want to have 10 or... Basically, you don't want to have more than 8 villagers using a single lumber camp, because then they bump too much. Like here, they're all pretty much perfectly laid out. They've all got their own tree. They're all walking 1 tile or less, so it's a very efficient lumber camp spot. But if you had 3 people trying to chop each tree, they're just going to bump into each other and just be really, really inefficient. And you want to avoid that at all costs. Now here, you could probably pick that villager if you're paying attention, but I guess unfortunately I wasn't. Hey, look, we can almost go to Feudal Age. There we are. Ooh, that was close. 1 food. Yeah, so we got 6 on wood. And then after clicking up to Feudal Age, you're going to want to move 4 or 5 villages from here over to a new lumber camp. So you can go for this one. That's pretty far away from the town centre. Yeah, come over here. And then as we said, we've got a pretty easy wall off over here if you choose to do that. There we are. Another 4 going over there. So then on your way up to Feudal Age, you should have 10 villagers on wood. مستعد. 5, 9, okay, makes 10. Yep, and then that should give you enough wood to build barracks and stable and do your 2 eco upgrades pretty soon after getting to Feudal Age. Okay, you could probably send another villager, because as we said, Saracens don't have an eco bonus, so you're going to need a little bit more wood than if say you were Huns or Celts or something, just because you don't have a bonus. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See, this is a little bit inefficient. They got to walk a little bit more, they bump a little bit more, like this. They go to drop off and they just clash, and it just slows them down a little bit. Yeah, barracks. If you start building the barracks when the red line here gets just about to the A in Feudal, that if you go build the barracks, then it'll be built approximately the exact same time you get to Feudal Age. Now see, this is a little bit later. This didn't start till we were already past the L, because we're a little bit late to wood, but so we're going to need to send another villager over, hopefully.
نعم.
Or we're not, but just means we're going to be a little bit late with the stable. Not too bad. the enemy was smart here. Either kill the scout or wall it in or something, just to stop you being able to use it, but we're playing versus the AI, and they're pretty damn stupid. Yeah, so we sent the extra villager over, a little bit late for it, which is pretty unfortunate. But see, we've already got the wood, so we can do double bit axe straight away. Laying in the stable. So we'll get that finished a bit after 11 minutes, so it's not too bad. Could be better. And so yeah, so we've built the stable, done double bit axe. We should be doing horse collar soonish. Horse collar. And we've still got 240 food. So that'll give you 3 scouts, plus a little bit of a drop off from these villagers here, and that'll get you another villager. And then you should be able to keep up constant villager production from there. Now that's really unfortunate ball luring by the AI there. Looks like lost 3 villagers, but at least it tried to lure. Yeah, so as soon as horse collar's done, you lay as many farms as you can. You keep laying them until you've got about 8 farms. You can probably go closer to 10 if you plan on making a lot more scouts than normal. But the average is normally make about 4 to 6 scouts. And yeah, it's harass from there. Now after we've got the scouts, we'll sort of have a little bit of a chat about what sort of harassing you try to do and easiest way to do it. But until then, we'll just continue looking at the economy. Yeah, so as we get the wood up, start building more farms, sticking them close to the town centre to keep you close, keep them safe. It means you can garrison to try to attack this scout. If not, but yeah, you're near the town centre, so you can garrison if you need to attack. And this guy appears to be going off the wall. That's good. It's a decent distance, means these deer are on the inside, so you could send 3 villagers to go take them if you wanted to. Or you could lure them back to the town centre, as you saw in the last castle video, but no matter. Okay, so after this scout, and killing the blue scout here, should be able to go attack, and start trying to pick off some villages and slow down his economy. Now, this stage, as I said, 8 farms is about the minimum you're going to want to lay down before you move over to gold. You can always go, as I said, 10, 11 maybe. I wouldn't recommend more than that. But yeah, so then once you go to gold, I normally would think as soon as I've got about 200 wood in the bank, build the mining camp, and then soon after that you start building archery ranges. Oh, went for another farm instead. No matter. It's just trying to keep your eco balanced for how you're playing and what you want to do at the moment. So of course, the longer you delay gold, the later you're going to be to archers, so the more scouts and spearmen type units you're going to need to create to counteract this lack of military might you've got on the battlefield at the moment. Yeah, this guy is probably walking a little bit too much, but once you get to feudal age, you can sort of pay a little bit less attention to microing your villages, because you've got military units which you need to micro instead. Of course, if you see this guy decided to chop this tree over here, yeah, you're going to want to tell him not to do that. But yeah, here we are. Sort of just missed it, but they would have run in, hit this villager, and then they've all turned around to try to attack them. So when you run off, generally I wouldn't run this far, but the AI is sort of really angry, and they're going to probably keep chasing for a while, but you back off, and they've just spent 10-15 seconds not chopping wood trying to attack you. So in that 15 seconds we've probably gathered 40 or so wood between those villages. That's a pretty big deal. And we're starting to queue archers, which is good. And if you can see villages like this, there's only about 3 of them, 3 or 4 of them, they're really far away from the town centre. So that's pretty easy kill for the scouts. Probably could have sent 3 of them to go get these guys and left that one by himself. But doesn't matter, you still got 2 villages. That means you have 2 villages up, not including the failed boar lure. That means your economy is going to be that much stronger. And that's the whole point of doing a feudal rush. You want to get in there and kill villages as soon as you can to make the biggest difference to their economy. Yeah, same thing. They've all stopped work. About 15, 26 in time. See how long they keep chasing for. Alright, so we can't see them anymore, so we'll say they've stopped chasing now. So that's about 12 seconds. And then they're going to spend those 12 seconds to turn around and walk back. They were almost idle for 30 seconds there. Like, that's a lot of resources. And you're just not getting them. So, if nobody's ever, like, said this, you need 7 villages on gold to keep 2 archery ranges constantly producing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, at the moment we've got 8. So we should be able to keep these 2 ranges going indefinitely. But we're probably not going to do that, as we'd prefer to go to Castle Age rather than continue making archers for 30 minutes. Because you get stronger units in Castle Age, and archers have their uses, but they're not that good that they're going to be able to keep up with Castle Age units unless you've got absolutely massive number difference and the enemy doesn't decide to make mangonels. They make mangonels, then it's pretty much GG. You've only got 5 range, mangonel's got 7 range, and it'll one-shot an archer. That's just pretty damn difficult to counter with just feudal units. Look at that, so there's 3 villages there, 2 over there, another one here. That's 6 villages. And of course, if you're playing versus a real person, they're gonna do something to fight back. Make some spearmen, make their own scouts, make archers, do some wall off, whatever. But the point is, you just need to get in. You don't have to kill a villager. You just need to stop them working for as long as possible. And then, yeah, just slow down their economy for as much as you can. Now this is really unfortunate. We just finished wheelbarrow and we got housed. Probably should have been keeping a better eye on it, but whatever. It's the AI. Yeah, see, look, we're getting close to being able to click up the Castle Age. I need another 300 or so food and 100 wood. And that 100 wood, sorry, 100 gold. And if we stop making archers after these 2, by the time we get 800 food, we'll probably have about 400 gold. There we go, that's another villager kill. That's 7. Now, targeting the skirmisher, just because you can. Probably should target the villagers, seeing the skirmisher only does 1 damage each. But, well, since we're coming in with archers, you want to kill off the skirmishers. That was sort of what I was thinking. Skirmishers beat archers, so kill the skirmishers. Yeah, going into the woodline. This probably could have been done better. Walk around this side of the woodline to attack the villagers as they're running. But they've sort of all just clumped up into a giant mess. Oh, that was a good snipe there. So skirmisher does a decent amount of damage. It does 5 damage each. Like, they've only got a base damage of 2, but they've got their attack bonus versus archers. And their massive pierce armor of 3 means that an archer's only doing 2 damage each. So it takes them a long time to kill skirmishers, compared to how long it takes a skirmisher to kill an archer. Yeah, so these scouts, good counter to skirmishers though. No melee armor. They've got their minimum range, so when they try to attack the scouts, they sort of just run back a bit, because they're stupid. And these archers are free to keep attacking the villagers, while the scouts pick off the skirmishers. That's one of the standard feudal age combos. Archers to scouts. Theoretically, skirmishers and spearmen will beat it, but it's much easier to micro the scouts to dodge the spearmen. And the archers will kill the spearmen much faster, and the spearmen will kill the scouts if you use a little bit of micro. Yeah, look, we're almost ready to click up. 2 archery ranges still making. We've sent a lot more to gold now though. We've got 10 on gold. And after this villager, maybe do a quick garrison and we should be able to go up. Which is pretty good timing. We're gonna go. We'll make a bill. There we are, and up we go. 20 minutes, that's good. We've made 4 scouts and 12 archers on the ground. It's a decent army, and we're going to be in Castle Age at about 22.5 minutes. That's a very good time. So yeah, pretty much the rest of the game is just me screwing around with micro versus the AI and just booming out my eco. Well, main thing that I want to show you is once you get to Castle Age, you want to try to drop 2 town centers, because you've got 200 stone, 2 town centers, and keep making villages from all 3 of them to keep your economy going. Like this, if you were to play this exact playstyle, assuming you lose some units versus a real player, this would be perfect for a flanking team game. Because you don't want to stay in Feudal Age for 30 or 35 minutes in a team game, because the enemy pocket, the guy in the middle, is probably going to make knights, and knights will kill the Feudal Age army pretty quickly, unless you've made a lot of spearmen. So this way you're going to have a decent castle time, 22 minutes. As Saracens you can make knights as well, or you can make camels. Personally I'd probably go for camels to defend and keep attacking with crossbows, just because they don't get cavalier, and they don't get paladin. So once you get to Imperial Age, their knights aren't that useful. Okay, what else was I going to say? Yep, this gold is probably pretty inefficient. Only the 4 closest are working well. The other 6 or 7 have got to walk a lot. But that's because we're going to put down a town centre right here once we get to Castle Age. And then that opens up all that space. And that'll make them a lot more efficient. And you probably should be able to afford to do do Bowsaw and whatever the Castle Age farm eco upgrade is. Heavy plow, yeah, that's it. As soon as you get to Castle Age, as well as building your town centres, researching crossbow and doing bodkin. And those are pretty much the minimum that you'd want to do. Maybe only do 1 town centre if you're a bit short on wood, but you really want to get your archers up to crossbows as quickly as possible and get those eco upgrades, because they make your villages work that much faster. Probably should build another lumber camp, but we're making sure we've got enough wood to build town centres and eco upgrades and whatnot. Okay, we're almost to Castle Age. Castle Age. So we go, hey, town centre. Making villages. Doing crossbow. Doing bodkin. No eco upgrades just yet. There are Bowsaw and Heavy Plow. You see we've got 500 wood there, that's still enough to make 2 town centres. I haven't dropped the stone yet, but here we are, we can see some villagers going. Where are they going? Town centre over here. It's a good spot, you can get wood and you can get stone. And getting that stone is important if you want to make a 4th or a 5th town centre, or get up a pretty early castle. And there we are, the other town centre, on the gold and the wood. Wherever possible you want to try to do that, have it covering 2 resources, because then it just protects more villages. The enemy's going to be less likely to come and attack there, and it means it's more efficient when you're sending villagers out to work. Because this town centre, if I want to send villagers to stone, I've got to walk that distance. It's pretty much probably still going to have to do that unless their villagers are laying farms, but it means that these town centres are much more efficient. It means instead of having 3 town centres walking 20 tiles, you've only got 1. And the other 2 are just going straight next to each other. Okay, so yeah. After this, it's pretty much GG. The enemy's stuck in their town centre while I just boom. Got random crossbow moonwalking. It's pretty skillful. Yeah, so anyway. We're not making any crossbows at the moment because we're getting the eco started again, because we had to take some villages off wood to make the town centres. And we spent a lot of wood on the town centres and the eco upgrades, but within a minute or 2 the economy should stabilise pretty quickly and everything should be going pretty well. These villages probably could be sent around to these ones, but it doesn't matter at this stage because we're winning. Simple as that. When you're winning you can afford to make minor mistakes like that. Like, of course, if you sent all of these villages and they were just sitting there idle for a minute, then that would be pretty bad, but something minor like that, it's no problem. Well, pretty much going to finish that there. If you got any questions, post it in the comments. Got any requests, anything like that, just give it a shout out. And if you want to send me in recorded games to have a look at, that'd be cool. Preferably you versus a real opponent, because as you saw, the AI doesn't do much at all. It just sort of chills, and that way I can also see how you react to what your enemy's doing and deal with the pressure and whatnot. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.